Hello and welcome to an episode of Atomic Vinyl Reviews. My name is Jacob and today we've got a whole bunch of things to unbox actually. All of these three things came in and I'm super excited for these. I'm not going to do all of them in one video actually, I'm going to split it up into three videos. Today we're going to look at this box, which I think has some Y-MSF figures in it, which is super exciting. I think this one has some other Bandai vinyls, some newer Bandai vinyls. I don't remember which exact ones. I think Gamera Y-MSF vinyls that recently... what am I saying? Bandai vinyls that came out recently would be in here, and some other things. The Godzilla vs. Kong. Kong would probably be in here. Maybe not. I will find out. It's in a box, so it's kind of hard to tell right now. And then finally I have this thing, which is really exciting. I'm super excited about this, but it's not Godzilla related at all. This is actually guitar related, so if you're interested in some guitar stuff, particularly if you are a fan of Black Sabbath, I would recommend checking out my other channel called Jacob's House of Rock, which I will do an unboxing of this on that channel. So this is going away right now, we'll do that later. Let's get into this box though. So our Y-MSF figures, I assume. Let's find out what we have in here. I've amassed quite a nice collection of Y-MSF figures as of late. They're somewhat of a new obsession of mine. They're just so cool. I don't know what it is about them. It's just, they're a lot more diverse in the types of kaiju that they make figures of. And as far as like Bandai vinyl type figures go, they're pretty damn well made. Look at that. We already see some Godzilla in here. A lot of these are unpainted, by the way, because they were cheaper, and these things aren't cheap to begin with, so that's kind of the thing. But let's start off with this one that we just got here. This is this 1964 Godzilla? I think it is! Sweet! So, for whatever reason, they released this guy as unpainted so far. They'll probably release a painted version in the near future. And oh, his tail is not attached, so I will see if I can pop that in. I can. That wasn't too hard, actually, but look at that. So, this is our unpainted Godzilla 1964 figure from Y-MSF, and the exciting thing about this is, to actually get a 1964 Bandai vinyl is really freaking difficult. And if they did make them, then they are super expensive right now. And the 1964 design is one of my all-time favorite Godzilla designs. And this version just looks so cool. Look at that. So I'll probably be painting him in the future. I don't know if I'll actually get around to it. I probably don't mind actually just having this guy unpainted on my shelf. He will stand out a little bit from the charcoal gray wall of figures which I have surrounding me. So that's really cool. Let's look under his feet here. What would it say? I think we have Touhou Kong Ltd. There's a date there. It's a bit blurry. Let me have a look. Yeah, 1964 and then 2005. So I guess this figure was modeled in 2005. And it also says Y-MSF and Gen made in Japan. That's the other really cool thing about Y-MSF figures. They're like boutique figures that are made in Japan. They're a very small sort of company from what I gathered that just kind of makes these weird little, very well-made boutique Bandai vinyl type figures which sell for a very high price but are really, really well made and are really sick and cool. So just for a comparison, you'll bring in our Megalon figure from Y-MSF to compare. They scale really nicely, and just, you know, a Showa Godzilla figure is kind of hard to come by these days. They don't make enough of these things, so this is really cool. I can bring in Gigan, looking really nice. I need a Mothra to go with this guy. I do have like this little resin kit of the Showa Mothra, which I should finish building. Then he can actually have a little Mothra with him. It's not to scale at all. That Mothra is a lot smaller, because the Mothra from the 1964 Mothra vs. Godzilla film is like, her body is as big as Godzilla, and then she has like the wings added on, so she would be huge next to a figure like this, as far as, you know, Bandai vinyl style figures go. But there we go. Scales again really nicely with our very basic Bandai Mechagodzilla 74 figure. Really nice. I was really excited about this one, and looks really cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Awesome. Let's move on to our next unpainted figure. Here we have the 1962 Godzilla from King Kong vs. Godzilla. Again, this one was slightly cheaper than the painted variants, and I don't think they even released a painted variant of this one as of yet. If they have, then it's not available at this current time to buy. We'll see. They're always releasing new stuff from Y-MSF, which is really exciting at the moment. Though they're gonna eat away at my wallet, which they already have. But here we go. 1962 Godzilla, very iconic design. He's a bit more reptilian looking, a bit more broad shaped. Really iconic design. There we go. Big bulky lower body. Nice broad shapes to him. These are made in a fairly thin grey vinyl, as you can tell. Sort of a fairly sort of soft-ish vinyl, but that's probably just how thin it is. It would be a fairly rigid vinyl for a little bit thicker, I assume. Just love the detailing on these things. These are like, I'm not gonna say like X Plus necessarily. They're not quite there, but like in a weird way, they're somewhat like between Bandai vinyls, for example, and X Plus figures detail-wise. So like a weird sort of in-between, where Bandai vinyls are really simplified and like really basic toy figures, but these Y-MSF figures are done in that same scale and have slightly less detail work than an X Plus figure, but the detail kind of emulates that kind of X Plus feel, where it's really hand sculpted and really accurate to the actual suit, and you can tell a lot of skill went into actually producing these things, which is really nice. So let's pop on his tail. Again, nice basic tail here. One thing I didn't mention about the 64 that I really like is that his tail is actually lifted on this figure, so he's got a great pose. I love the pose of this thing. Hopefully he will stand without a problem. So does he? He does stand. Very cool. Look at that. I mean, it's really far away. I'll probably do a full review of these guys at some point, and I'll show him to you guys better, like actually standing, but that is really cool. I really dig that. Get to this guy here, pop on his tail. Again, pops on fairly easily. It has these little tabs that kind of hook in. You can pop it off easily too, I guess. So these aren't exactly like an X Plus figure where you need to get a hair dryer out and muck around with that for ages to actually get it working. But there we go. There is our 62. In this box we should actually have the Kong that goes with him. It is right here. So the last time I did an unboxing of the Y-MSF figures, I got a Kong figure, but that was the King Kong Escapes movie Kong. So this is the actual King Kong from Godzilla, King Kong vs. Godzilla, not Godzilla vs. Kong. That's a whole other thing that's just come out, which you may or may not have heard about. But here we go. The 62 Kong, the Touhou Kong. So he's got, I think this is the exact same sculpt as the previous Kong that I got from Y-MSF, except for the face. I think they just changed the face, which is, you know, fairly accurate to what we saw in the movie. But look at that, he's got more of this sort of fearsome face. It's not the best design of Kong in the world. It looks like this weird Yeti, Bigfoot monster thing with this really grumpy face. It's known for being a really goofy version of Kong, but as a figure, pretty accurate to that Kong, and these two pair up real nice. So look at that. Got a beautiful set of our 1962 Godzilla and 1962 Kong. For whatever reason, the Kong figures aren't Y-MSF, they're Raymundo figures, which is something I've noticed with Y-MSF. I don't know what kind of affiliation they have with Raymundo, but they seem to be like both the same company and not at the same time? I don't know. This one also says made in China, which I don't know if it's true or not. Like, why are the Y-MSF figures made in Japan, and then there's these Raymundo ones which seem to have, you know, the exact same quality and be, you know, distributed by the same people, or the same dude. He pretty much just, like, as far as I know, it's like one dude running the company. I don't know. He's just the one guy who seems to be managing all this stuff when you actually message the Y-MSF Facebook page. But why is there Raymundo and then Y-MSF? Like, I don't get the connection between the two. Like, why is there two separate entities? Also, the Behemoth figure from Godzilla King of the Monsters that they're putting out is also under the Raymundo name. I have ordered one of those. It's super expensive, but it's like really a niche rare thing, and we don't really get too many Behemoth figures, which is a shame because it's such a cool design, that like weird gorilla mammoth looking thing from Godzilla King of the Monsters. They made like 100 of them, so they're kind of rare at this point, so that'll be exciting when that comes in. Anyway, I'm just rambling about that at this point. Let's move on to our next figure. So we got another Godzilla. I actually got two of these in different colors in this set, actually. I don't know why, but I do. It's what I ordered. So I believe this is the 1965 Godzilla. Let's see, I'm blanking on what movie that is exactly from. I think this is Invasion of Astro Monster or Monster Zero. That film's Godzilla. I'm like 80% sure, 90% sure. 1965. Yeah, that year should match up. So his tail is a little bit more difficult to pop on because it's got a thicker sort of tab around the base, but maybe we can get it. Come on. Soft vinyl, it can do it. Yes, there we go. Look at that. 1965 Godzilla from Y-MSF, the unpainted version. Nice size to this figure, so you can bring in 64. He's leaning down, so he seems a little bit smaller. So you got the chronological order. I think this is the Godzilla vs. Mothra 1964 Godzilla. You can tell by the face, because then there was a kind of a one which had a more similar face to this guy, but still the suit looked more like this guy's body, but kind of had more of this guy's face. The suit kind of looks really similar, but it's slightly different. The proportions are a little bit different in his stance and stuff. There would have been a kind of a Godzilla design between these two, which is actually kind of really similar to like a merging of these two. But yeah, this guy is pretty cool. This is like your typical Showa Godzilla. Like, I think this design would also fit well in like a Destroy All Monsters diorama. He's not too dissimilar to that design. Really, again, really nicely done figure. I love the open mouth, the face looks great, spines look really cool. I love the texturing over this whole thing. Really nice. Really, really nice. Again, you can bring in a Megalon here, just to compare these two. Bandai Gigan, just because this is what I happen to bring out on hand for this unboxing. He's actually quite big as well. Gigan should be taller than Godzilla by a tiny bit, just so his horn is a little bit taller than Godzilla, I'm pretty sure, but this guy is actually taller than Gigan. Finally, we have... oh no, we have a couple more. Two more. Let's bring in the colored version of that guy. So, open this up. I actually ordered this guy first. I probably wouldn't have ordered this guy had this guy have been released first. Thing is, with what my Y-MSF figures, I kind of just asked the dude who's running it, could you like hold on to these figures for me and then I'll pay for them all in bulk at the end, and then they'll be shipped together to save money on shipping and like PayPal fees. If you pay for it in one go, the fees are a bit less than paying for each figure separately and like waiting, you know, till for them to be shipped in one box together at the end, so it's just easier to pay it once. But this guy, he is a green variant, which is actually kind of weird for a Godzilla figure, because Godzilla typically is not green, despite the popularization of him being green in pop culture. But I thought this could be a really cool figure, just, you know, to stand out on the shelf once more, because a lot of these Godzilla figures that I have, and other kaiju, they are all universally like charcoal gray, and it makes for a really bland looking display if you just have walls of charcoal gray figures. So I figured this would be pretty cool. And I figured also, if I do get two of these, if I do eventually want to sell one, these figures really don't go down in price from what I've seen. They are expensive, but their resale value is pretty high as well, so that's how I've been justifying buying these things as well, despite them being really pricey for what they are, to be honest. But again, they are like kind of like little, again, in between X Plus and Bandai Vinyls. They're just this weird merging of the two. But I think this is a really cool figure. So he's just got this dark green coloring with some tan highlights. It looks really cool. I like the highlights down the chest and the knees. good airbrushing along the claws and stuff like that. Face painted quite neatly. Really cool. So it would actually be a good paint scheme for the 62 Godzilla, which was charcoal grey, but in some of the lighting and in some depictions seems to come across as a bit green tinged, as well as like the Millennium Godzilla and the versus Megaguirus Godzilla, which did seem a little bit green tinged as well. But generally, this is not the color you want for your Godzillas. You want kind of an actual charcoal grey is more accurate. And our last figure for today. This is all very exciting. Gorosaurus. Yes, very nice. I don't think this is like the most accurate Gorosaurus that I've seen. If you guys have seen, Mezco are putting out a bunch of little minifigures of the Godzilla Destroy All Monsters movie. Like almost all the kaiju that are in that, and Gorosaurus is one of them, and that version of Gorosaurus looks amazing. In fact, all of those Mezco ones look amazing. They're like 4 inches tall or something, so they're gonna be tiny, but for what they are, the designs on those things look brilliant. However, I figured, you know what, since I already have the King Kong Escapes Kong, I should probably get the Gorosaurus to go with him from Y-MSF, because I figured that would just be, you know, a good match. And I don't have a Gorosaurus figure in my collection, so let's take a look at this guy. He does look pretty cool. In person, especially, I do really dig the coloring on this thing and the texture. There's just lots of fine detail on him. Love the look of the tail on this thing, so maybe I can bring him in a little bit closer. Look at that. I think the face is probably the weakest point. I think the teeth are kind of what look a bit odd to me. You definitely can tell it's Gorosaurus, but there's just something about the face. I think maybe the eyes are a little bit small. Gorosaurus has typically larger eyes, but the body is really spot on to me. Really cool. And it's just great to have another kaiju in my collection that's not a Godzilla, just to spice things up a little bit. So that's real cool. You can just bring in this Kong next to him. Again, it's not the same Kong. I just don't really feel like reaching over and trying to find my other Kong, because I'm a lazy bastard. But again, I will do another video about these things, and you guys can see these in more detail in the near future. So this is just my unboxing, but yeah, this is how he would scale with that Kong. So this Kong just has a different face, because it's the 62 Kong as opposed to the King Kong Escapes Kong, which I forget the year it came out, but it has a slightly different face. But there we go. Gorosaurus, 62 Kong, 65 Godzilla, 62 Godzilla, 64 Godzilla, all done in grey. These things are freaking awesome. I'm just absolutely stoked about these ones. They're really cool, especially the 64. I love that thing. And our other 65 Godzilla done in green. So that is it for my little unboxing of these assorted Y-MSF figures. I have got a lot of these things now. It's an addiction, guys. Like, be careful. If you go into collecting Y-MSF figures, it's like collecting Monster Arts figures or X+. Once you get one, you kind of start to collect them all. It's not good, guys. I mean, it's freaking awesome. It's real good, but it's also not good. I don't know. I will hopefully do an update when I do get some more of these guys in, because I have actually 2 more. Like I said, the Son of Godzilla one. I think that comes with a little manila figure as well, which is pretty cool. That one's done in like a black paint, so he's going to be very dark looking. And that one I'm waiting for his arm to be made, and then he'll post it out to me along with that behemoth figure from Godzilla King of the Monsters. And I don't know if I'll order any more, because again, these are a real drain on the wallet. They're real cool, so it's hard to resist. But yeah, that is it for this unboxing, guys. I'm gonna film my next unboxing right away. Starting to get dark, so hopefully the video won't be too shady, because my lighting here is real poor. But I will see you guys in my next video, but until then, may all your vinyl be a radiated vinyl. Over and out. Bye.